So, it continues. Hello there, welcome back to Max's Writing Advice Q&A. There's a dog in the background. Please excuse the sounds of a doge in the background. Anyhow, every week, questions are sent by viewers just like you and picked through a random number generator. This week, I've got a selection of such questions, but before I go on anywhere, allow me to give you the formal disclaimer, as always, and remind you that the following is merely just my advice, my opinion, and what works for me. Don't take it as gospel, instead take it as the ramblings of a silly person who looks a little bit, or rather precisely like this. Anyhow though, let's take it from the top. The first question of the day goes a little bit like this. I often go through long periods where my mental health is bad. I've only now started to be in a better state, but with a lot of unfinished first chapters of stories. So I'm trying to decide whether I should lock away these words and start fresh or continue writing. What are your thoughts? Now, I may be the biggest advocate for telling people to finish things and to just get stuff done. I do also feel that guilt is basically like the worst motivator ever. Like, honestly, real talk, maybe it's just particularly how I feel about things, but like, guilt is probably the worst motivator ever, because it doesn't even feel satisfactory when you get stuff done. It's just kind of like, yeah, I made myself feel like I had to finish this, and then I did, and then it just kind of felt like I hadn't actually achieved anything. So here's what I want you to do. Maybe I'm taking a leap of faith, maybe you don't actually feel guilty. That's how I would feel in this particular situation and how I felt in the past, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to look over the stories that you have, the stories that you began, the first chapter. So I want you to look over them and ask yourself if any of these actually jumps at you. If any of these stories demands that you write it. And I get that that may be a little bit of a really big claim, something like maybe a little bit unrealistic to ask of stories, especially stories that you picked up and you didn't finish. But the reality is this, is that writing is, at least for me, easiest when I'm writing stuff that excites me, stuff that I want to write, stuff that I can't put down. And if these stories don't demand that of you, if these stories don't make you want to just start, or at least want to continue them, then I think you can just put them away, honestly, and dedicate your time towards the stories that do inspire you to do that. The stories change, people change, times change. It's fine to change your mind. It's fine to not want to write those stories anymore. You can't spend your life feeling guilty, or at least your writing life feeling guilty over the stories you didn't finish, because you're not gonna move forward from there. You're just gonna be feeling guilty over what you didn't do, and you're not gonna have the confidence to start a new story or finish those old ones. Again, honestly, look over those stories. If one of them jumps at you, if one of them goes, hey, write me, wouldn't it be fun and exciting? And if one of those grabs you, then chase it, go after it. And if none of those do, look for one that does. Guilt is a terrible motivator. Fun and excitement, on the other hand, I think they're worth chasing, so I hope this helps, okay? The second question of the day goes a little bit like this. What do you do when you have a writing project that's been in development hell for a long time? I'm gonna take a leap of faith with this question. I hope this doesn't sound disrespectful, but I'm just gonna, you came here to know what I thought, I'm gonna tell you what I think. The easiest way to not have a story stuck in development hell is to not let it get stuck in development hell. I'm looking at this question and I'm going, where are you stuck? Are you stuck in the first draft? Did you finish the revision stages? Did you send it out to the beta readers? Have you finalized the text? Where are you stuck and why aren't you moving forward? I mean, yeah, it's completely understandable that it takes a while to finish this and that it takes a while to hear back from beta readers and it takes a while to revise and to apply all of the changes or possible changes. But there's an end to the journey. Like, development hell is not like a real hell. There is an end to things. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, if you may. Well, again, like, development hell is not a real place, because if you keep moving the story forward or the writing project, it will be finished. It will eventually be done. If you're stuck in the first draft, push forward. Get that stuff written. Revise it. If you're doing the revision process, if you're stuck during the revision process, make sure to go into every revision phase with a goal. Don't just read the story. Ask yourself, what am I trying to fix here? A story flow, character motivations, moods and themes, or just to make sure that the story actually sounds well. Come in with a goal when it comes to revision. If you have sent the story to betas, go do something else. Don't just sit there waiting. Go work on another project, start another book, kill time in whatever way, most productive way that you can find. And if you have gotten their feedback and you're just finalizing it, then push through and get that stuff done. Because again, like, your problems have clear-cut solutions. The path is there, you just have to keep on walking. And I know that it may not seem like the most inspirational or eye-opening answer that I could give you, but honestly, like, I know that it can be overwhelming when you're stuck in the middle of a project, but get that roadmap. Set up the landmarks. You know where you're going. The path is there, just keep on walking, okay? Okay. And as for the last question of the day, it goes a little bit, or rather precisely, like this. What do I do if I'm writing a story that I don't have 100% planned out, and it doesn't open up to me during the act of writing? I hit all of the plot points in the story, and now I'm stuck. Where do I go from there? I see your question, and I raise you 3 other questions. What are your characters doing? What do they want? And are you letting them take action? Back when I went to college, I had a wonderful, lovely, creative writing professor named Marcy, and she introduced to me what I've coined to be the Marcy rule. She believed that characters were at the center of storytelling, not plot. Plot was the byproduct of characters taking action, making choices, and facing the consequences of said choices. So considering that I particularly believe that, and she believed that characters are at the center of everything. Characters are the ones who make the story happen. Because much like in history books and culture, it is people that make things happen. Things don't just happen by themselves. It is people that cause change, whether it is within themselves, the world around them, or the entirety of the world. They cause change to happen. So, with that thought in mind, I ask you again, what are your characters doing? What do they want? And are you letting them take action? I know that letting go of control can be incredibly daunting and pretty much downright terrifying, especially if you're getting started with writing, but the unfortunate reality is that you have to open up to the story. You have to surrender control so that the story can pick it up, and you have to trust the story as well. Your characters know how to dance, you just have to let them lead. I know that plot points look really nice and fancy on paper, but they make for terrible company. I want you to think about the books that linger on you, even long after you close the final page. What of those books, what was the thing that you liked the most? Was it the plot points, or was it the characters? Surrendering control may be terrifying, but it may just be the thing you need. Go beyond plot points and instead focus on character. What do they want? Who's standing in their way? And what are they willing to do to overcome those obstacles? Okay? Okay. And that's about it for today's questions. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that if anything, I gave you another point of view. If you have your own point of view that you would like to share with all of us, then please go into the comments down below and let us know, as well as your questions for future videos. For the time being though, I gotta get going. I want to thank you for watching, thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I'll see you on the next one.